This video will show you how to set up your GarageBand app for voice recording. We'll look at how to set up, record, edit, give it a proper title, and turn it into Google Classroom. We're going to look at how to set up GarageBand to use for voice recording. We're also going to take a quick peek at how to edit, delete, rename, and turn in your audio recordings. So first we're going to open the GarageBand app, which looks like a guitar here. If it's not on your iPad, you'll have to download it from self-service. And when you first log in, you should see a screen like this. If you've never logged in before, you may have to tap continue a couple times to get to this screen. And you may not have the audio recorder as your instrument of choice. So if you don't, just scroll to the left or the right until you get to audio recorder. And then tap on audio recorder to open. Then we're going to go to the plus sign in the upper right corner, and you can see it right under the question mark below the battery indicator. There's a little tiny plus sign, and I'm going to tap on that. And as you can see, our sections are going to be 8 bars long. We want to talk as long as we want to talk. So we're going to tap on the 8 bars, and we're going to turn the little slider to automatic. And now it's going to go as long as we want it to go. And if you tap away from the white box, it will go away. And now we're going to look at the metronome, and this is the blue triangle, which is also at the top of the screen near the right side. I'm going to touch it now and turn it white and blue so you can see it. Okay, so that needs to be white. Blue is on and white is off, and that will prevent ticking noise while you're talking, because we don't need to keep time with music because we're using our voice. As you can see, GarageBand has a ton of options, and there's even more which we're going to explore in a little bit, but I'm going to show you just the very basics of recording your voice. So to record your voice, you're going to use the red circle at the top of the screen. Wait for it to count down. I am now recording my voice. Press the white square to stop recording. Okay, so now I've made a little bit of my voice, and before I ever turn anything in, when you turn in an assignment with your voice, always listen to it first, because sometimes you didn't record what you thought you did, or the metronome is running. So I'm going to test. Recording my voice. Press the white square to stop recording. Okay. Worked. So what I want to do next is click on this piece of paper in the upper left corner, right under the time. And that brings me to my main screen, and I see where it says My Song. So the first thing I want to do is rename it. When your teacher looks at your voice recordings, they don't want to all be called My Song. So if you press and hold your finger on it, you get these options here. So one of the options is rename. So I'm going to call this my last name, because that's always helpful, or your first name, doesn't matter. I'm going to call it Glatz GarageBand Test, because that's what it is and whose it is, and that's a good name. And then when I want to turn it in, I'm going to hold my finger on it again, and I'm going to touch the share button. And for the purpose of handing this in to Google Classroom, and this is really important, hit song. If you use a project, that's if you send it to a friend so they can add to it, it'll keep it as a GarageBand project, and you can only open it in GarageBand. If you keep it as a song, then anybody can open it, and that's much easier when your teacher's listening to multiple recordings to not have to go to a specific app to hear it. So always choose song. I'm going to tap song, and then you could choose the quality. I would just leave it as default and hit share. And then you're going to find Google Classroom, and then you're going to choose your class and your assignment like you usually do. One other setting I want to show you real quick here, which we'll explore much more later, but I just want you to know that it's there, is if you notice the piece of paper that's under the time, if you go to the next little icon, which looks like a big square with 2 small squares next to it, and touch that, that brings you back to your audio recorder screen. So you can do that and then hit the back button. And the next one over looks like 3 rows of lines on top of each other. I'm going to touch that one. And this brings me to where I can edit. So this is where I can cut things out. This is where I can do what I like here. But most importantly, if I want to delete and start over, I can touch the mic on the upper left and hit delete, or I can actually touch my track, this blue square is actually the visual representation of my voice, and I can touch that and delete it. So that's your editing. And then to go back to where you were so that you can record more voice. So if you notice, the icon with the 3 lines that I pressed on to get here isn't there anymore. Now I have a picture of a microphone. So if I tap that, I'll go back to where I was recording. And I can tap it again. Now it's turned back into 3 lines, and I can go to edit. So that's going to be what you call a toggle. Every time I touch it, it does the opposite thing. So in a nutshell, that's how you record, edit, and rename and turn in your assignment.